Hello all, welcome to third session on data science. In this particular session, we are going to see rather Python strings and loops. Okay, so let's see first what are the objectives for this particular session. So first is we are going to see some string related activities, and the last part will be we are going to see some loop related activities. So what are we going to cover in our string related activities? So we are going to see first introduction to strings, then we are going to see string indexing, slicing, then we are going to see some string methods, string concatenation. These things we are going to cover. Then we come to the loop part. So in the loop part, we are going to see loop as a fundamental block, then why loop is necessary, but then we are going to say while loop, infinite loop, what is while loop, what is infinite loop. Then we are going to see some loop structures, that is break, pass and continue, and lastly we are going to see for loop. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, introduction to the strings. So what are strings? Strings are nothing but the sequence of characters. Now these are sequence of characters. So what does your characters include? So characters can include your letters, digits, symbols, and white spaces also. So this is nothing but your, this all combined is called as a string. Now there is a way to represent a string. So string should always be enclosed either in single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. So it should always be like this only. It should be enclosed in single quotes, double quotes or triple quotes. You can alternatively use single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes, but these triple quotes are used for multi-line strings. So we will see some examples. So my string, this is the variable name. So we have seen the rules for declaring a variable. So this is within that particular rules, equal to, this is assignment operator, and it should be always enclosed in either single quotes or double quotes or triple quotes. So within single quote or double quotes, we have written hello world. Within quotes, you can write anything. You can write special symbols, anything that you want to write. You can write within quotes. So those quotes can be single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. So this is double quote. This hello is enclosed in single quotes. And if you want to write a string that is not there is no sufficient space for it, so it is getting rather large, so you can use this multi-line strings. So triple quotes is usually used for multi-line strings, the string that is too large to represent in a single line. So at that particular point of time you can use this triple quotes. Okay, so we will see it with our Google Colab. So here I will say my string equal to hello world. Okay, so this is your string. Now, if you want to check the type of your my string, so what do you remember how you check the type of a particular variable? So if you want to check the type of the variable, you have an inbuilt function called as type. So you will say type of my string. So I am saying ki sequence of characters enclosed within double quotes, single quotes or triple quotes is nothing but your string. So I want to recheck whether that particular variable is string or not. So you can check it like that. So yes, this particular thing is your string. So again, you can say my str is equal to, I will say now in So this is also, if you want to check whether this particular thing works or not, this is a multi-line string. So here you can say, now type of my str. Yes, this is also a string. So this is how you declare a string. Okay, so now what is the importance of a string and how can you manipulate that using textual data? So for example, we will start why strings are important. So most of the representations are done using strings only. When you search in the Google, you use text only. Nowadays, ChatGPT is one of the platform that is getting attention worldwide. So there also you can type whatever you want and you get the generated text. Okay, so the input is text only and the output that is you are getting is in the textual format only. So strings are fundamental for representing as well as manipulating your textual data in programming languages. Next is input and output. So input and output. So strings are essential for input and output operations. So for enabling interaction with the users through text-based interfaces, input and output are very important. So how it is done? So we are going to cover one more thing that is called as how to take input from user. Okay, so here I say a is equal to, now there is a, if you want to take input from the user, there is a function, inbuilt function called as input. Here you can send whatever that you want to get the input from the user. So here I will say enter your name. So after that I will say print whatever we are getting from the user. I am going to print that same thing. So here if you run this particular thing, yes, it is asking enter your name. So if I say Sam, so yes, it is printing it. Now if I want to check your type of A, so yes, it is str. So that's why for input and output, this particular string is very important. Okay, so now let's see next point. So for the help of data processor, for the part of data processing, so string facilitate data processing tasks. So there are multiple tasks we can do with the strings. So such as your parsing, tokenization, pattern matching. So these are the tasks that can be done using your strings. Then next part is storage. So data storage, strings are commonly used for storing data in various data structures. So these are the data structures we yet need to cover, but these are the data structures that are used to store a data. So you can store strings in the list, you can store strings in the dictionary format, you can store strings in various databases. So why we are saving strings in this particular list or dictionaries or databases? So that retrieval of that particular information can become easy. Okay. Next is you can also use text processing algorithms. So you have ton of data. You have a very big, for example, you have a very big file with you. So if you want to search something, then you can use it. You can do it using Python strings. Then you can also use sorting algorithms. You can also use compression algorithms on the string data. Okay. Then user interface. For user interface, it is very strings are very important, because whenever a message is displayed on your interface, it is in the string format only. If it is not in the string format, user can get a little bit uncomfortable. If you get message and if you only see the numbers in that particular message, then it will be very difficult for us to decode that particular message. So instead of that, if we get the message in the form of characters, so it is easy for us to read. So for display purpose, for example, your messages, labels, menus, all of these things use Python strings. Okay. Uh, Along with this, file handling is also can also be done using strings. Okay. So next important part is indexing. Now, strings, we have seen strings are nothing but the sequence of characters. So each character has a specific location associated with it. Okay, so indexing, why indexing is there? So indexing allow you to access this particular individual characters. So indexing, string indexing is divided into two parts. You can do it as positive indexing or a negative indexing. So we will see how it is done with the help of example. So here I will say Python strings. Okay, so we are seeing indexing. So indexing, for example, I'm S1 is equal to my string is something like this in G. My string is morning. Okay. So let's see how it is R and G. So in case of positive indexing, okay, so positive indexing start with 0. So your first sequence from your character of sequence of characters, your first character is located at 0th location. Subsequently, your next character is at first location, then second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay, this is how your positive indexing works. Always remember that your first character from the sequence of characters is located at 0th location. Then next is 1, next is 2, next is 3, 4, 5, 6. In case of negative index, so negative indexing. So the main part of negative indexing is it start at the end of the string. So whenever you there is a end of the string, we have -1, then we have -2, then -3, then -4, then -5, -6, and this is -7. So this is how your negative indexing works. Okay, so positive indexing means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. First character is at 0th location, and negative indexing means your last character will be at -1 location. So indexing, why there is an indexing? So indexing allows you to retrieve specific characters from your string. So each character in the string can be accessed using corresponding index value. Now we will see how to do it. So for example, my string is hello. Okay, now this is my string hello. So I want to access the first character of my string. So how can we access it? So we are going to see first of all my string. Then in the square brackets, I am going to pass the location of h. So what will be the location of h? It will be 0. So string of 0. So it will be able to access h. Okay. If I want to access L, then 0, 1, 2. That means I have to pass 2 as a location. So my string 2. If I want to access this O, then you can say my string -1. Okay. So let's see it with Google Colab. So here I say hello. So this is your string. So in case of positive indexing, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. And in case of negative indexing, how it will be? -1, -2, -3, -4 and this will be -5. Okay. So we are going to take help of this particular thing. So we are going to take help of this particular explanation and we are going to try to access the characters from this particular string. So let's say now I want to access first character. That is, what is the first character? I want to access H. So what I will write? First of all, I will write the variable name of our string. So my str11. Then we will write square brackets and within that square bracket you have to pass the location of your H. So the location of your H is 0. So you can say 0. Yes. Then if you want to access now this particular L, then what you have to say? My str11 and 3 in square brackets 3. Then it will give you access to the second L from the string. Okay. Now if you want to access the last character from the string, then you will say my str11. Last character means we can say negative directly. You can say it like my str11 11 -1. So it will give you O. Now if you do not want to use negative indexing, so instead of that you can use 4. So here you can use it like this, or same thing, you will get the same result with this particular statement also, my str4. Yes, because the last, according to the positive indexing, your O is located at 4th location. So if you run it, yes, it is going to get you the same result. Same in case of my str11. If you want to use negative indexing here, so you can say my str11. With the help of negative indexing, this comes at -5th location. Your first is -5. So here if you run this particular thing, yes. So both of the statements are similar. So whenever you want to reach the end of the string very quickly, and if the string is very, very long, so at that particular point of time, getting the end of the string with the help of -1 becomes very, very easy. That is, using negative indexing becomes easier. Okay, so this was your indexing work. Now the next important topic is your slicing. So slicing is used to extract substring from a given slice. Okay, so for example, I will say now I will say my input is something, my string is something like this. My string is nothing but article. Now what I want to do is I want to retrieve this particular part from the string. So indexing gives you access to each and individual characters. But if you want to access bunch of characters at the same time, so at that particular point of time, you have to use slicing. Okay, individual character access, you can do it with indexing. But bunch of character access you want to do, then you have to use the slicing. Okay, now we will see how it works. So for example, this is your string A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, this is your string. So in the string, now there is a thing. This is a technique that is used to extract substrings. So this is the bunch of strings together, bunch of characters together. This is also called as the substring. So these substrings are generally created from the existing strings only. Okay. So here there is a syntax for doing this. So first of all, you will say string variable. Then within the square brackets. So square brackets are same as indexing only. But here inside the indexing there is something different. So there are three things now: the start, the end, and the stop. Okay, so start means the starting index of that particular slice. Now if I want to extract this particular thing, that means 0 1 2, that means your start will be 2, then you will have colon, then you can specify the end. Now here if you can see, your start is C. If I want to go through C to F, your end is not at the F, your end is the next character. So whenever your end is the next character, you will get this particular F. If you say your end is at the F character, you will get the string until CDE only. Okay, but I do not want only CDE, I want CDEF. So since I want CDEF, your F cannot be your end character. Your next character will be your end character. That is, next character's location will be your end character. So 0 1 2 colon 3 4 5 6. So 2 colon 6. Okay, so that will be your end. Now step. So by default your step is 1. So if you do not give it, so by default step is considered as 1. If you want to change it, you can change it in this particular thing. So if you want say 1 or 2 step, so you can change it in here. So let's see how this works. Okay, so here I will say, take the same example. B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, this is your string. Now, if I say my str of A in bracket, now what we want to do is, we want to start, I want CDEF. So CDEF means 0, 1, 2. According to the, now we are considering only positive indexing. So 0, 1, 2, that is second. So it will, we have to start at second. I want to end at F, that is CDEF. I want to print. So your end will be your next character's location. So 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So 2 colon, I will say 6. And by default, your, even if you do not write it, your by default step is 1. So here I will say CDEF. Okay. Here, if you do not, if you give the location of your F, that is 5. So here, look at the result. Instead of CDEF, it will only retrieve CDE. That means your start is inclusive, but your end is exclusive. Your start is inclusive means you will start at the given location, but for end you have to give the next location. So that is, in the technical language, this is called as the exclusion. Okay, so the whatever last location you will give, that location will be excluded. So whenever you want to retrieve something, you have to be very careful with the end. Okay, now if you do not give any start, so by default it will start at 0. Okay, if you do not give any end, it will by default end, it will defaults to the end of the string. Okay, and if you do not give any step, now just now what example we have seen, we have not given any step, so by default it takes the step as 1. Okay, so let's see the next slide. Here we will see now one more example. So your string is hello world. Now hello, then you have comma, then you have some space. So comma and space, both of the things are considered as characters, different characters. Okay, then your exclamation mark is there, so that is another one character. So let's see how it works. So print my string, that is variable name, then you have your square brackets. You are starting from 0, that is 0 1 2 3 4 5. So it is going until 5, but your last particular your end is excluded, so it will go from 0 to 4. So 0 to 4 means 0 1 2 3 4, so it will output hello. Okay, now your my string is given as, it is given there is only start of the string given. So start of the string is at 7. So here until now this is 5. 6 is your white space and this is 7. So it will start from W. So since the end is not given, it will default to the end of the string. So it will go until the end of the string. So it will print all of the word along with the exclamation mark. Okay. And now this is one example that if you want to reverse a string. Okay. So how can you reverse it? So reversing a string means your step. Now we will see. Start is not given. The end is not given. But your step is given. So step is given as -1. So it will go to the last end of the string. So it will go to the -1. And since start and end are not given, it will go to the end of the string in a reverse order. Okay. I will so say it one more time. Your start and end is not given, but your step is given. So step is -1. So -1 means it will go to the end of the string. So it will go to the end of the string. So your end of the string is exclamation point. And since start and end is not given, it will default to the end of the string. Okay. So it will default to the end of the string in reverse order. So that's why whenever your representation is something like this, it will give you the reverse of the string. So we will see same example on our board in our Google Colab. Hello, comma space world. Here exclamation point is there, right? This is our string. So let's see how it works. So my strb. So let's say I will start from 0. So by default, if I'm not giving any start, it will start at the 0th location. Okay. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. So it is printing hello. Now if I say my str, let's see b. So here I will say 7 is my starting point. So let's see what. So yes, it is giving us exactly the output that we have seen. Okay. Last thing that we are going to see is reverse of the string. So reverse of the string is colon, colon. Step is your -1. Okay. So here, yes. So entire string is reversed. Okay. So this is how your slicing works. If you do not give a start, by default, it will start with 0. If you do not give an end, it will by default gets to the end of the string. Okay. For in the starting, I will suggest you write 0. Okay. So as you get more and more comfortable with the language, it will come easy to you. Okay. Do not use shortcuts in the start. Now, next important example, next important thing that we are going to see is string operators. Now, there are a bunch of operators that we have already seen. There are also some operators that are associated with your strings that can help with the string manipulations. Okay, so here are some examples. So, plus, into, slice, range slice, this particular part you have already seen. Okay, and this part is new membership. Okay, so let's see one by one. So first operator is concatenation. So concatenation operator is if you have two strings and if you want to merge those two strings, so at that particular point of time you have to use operation called you can do the operation called as the concatenation. Okay, so concatenation, how you do it? So using your plus operator. So let's see example of that. So here I will say so this is these are my two strings. Now I want to merge those two strings. So how will we do it? So for example, I will say C11. So operator is plus. So I will simply say A11 plus B11. And I'm storing this result into this particular variable called C11. So I will say print C11. Sorry. Okay. So let's see the result. So yes, this is your result. It concatenates the two strings. Okay, hello and world. Correct? Eh? So next particular statement is repetition. So you want a particular string to be repeated 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So at that particular point of time, you use the operator repetition. So repetition operator is represented by your star symbol. Okay, star operator. So let's see how it is going. So I will say A11. I will say take the same thing, that is hello. Here I will say I want A11 to be repeated 4 times. So let's see how it is doing that. So yes, it is printing hello 4 times. So this particular string is repeated 4 times. Okay. So next example is slice and range slice. So for quick review, we are again going to see A. Let's say I want to print first thing, that is first character, that is I. So AE of I will say 0. Yes, it is printing A of 0. Next, along with that, I want to print NTEL. Okay, so I want to print NTEL. That means 0, 1. So starting will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means it will be AE of 1 to 5. Okay, so correct. We are getting the result as NTEL. Okay, so this was your range slice and your index. Okay, slicing. Then next operator is very important operator. It is called as the membership operator. So what does your membership operator do? So membership operator checks whether that particular whatever part of substring that you are providing, that is available in the given string or not. Okay, so let's see it with the example. So you will be able to get it. For example, you are given string is, let's say, Python. Okay, if you want to check whether there is th in the given string, so how will you check it? Th, your operator name is in. Okay, your operator name is in, so th in, you can say given string. Okay, so it will result in either true or you can say false. So since th is present in the given string, so I will say here if, so it will result in true. So same thing that we are going to see it with our Google Colab. So our given string is Python. Okay, so this is our given string. So what I want to check, print, or you can simply save the result in C. So what I want to check, I want to check whether th in given string. Okay, and now I want to print that particular statement. I want to print that particular variable C. So since th is present in that particular string, so it is giving us the true. That means you are checking membership of whatever substring you are checking with the given string. So that's why it is called as the membership operator. Okay. here if I say th1, okay, now I'm changing the thing. So instead of th1, I will say py. Okay, so what do you think is going to be the answer? So it is getting answer as the false. So you will say p is also there, y is also there. So why it is getting a false? So in the starting, I have told you that this particular language is case sensitive. This py is different from this py. So that's why whenever we are passing this py, you are getting the result as false. If you say p y, so it will give you the result as okay. So these were your string operators. Now there are some built-in methods that are provided by your strings. So these are built-in methods can help you to do many simple operations. So you just have to use the name of the function and you have to pass parameters according to the function's requirement. Okay. So until now we have seen your type function, your input function, same. These are the functions that are given by your strings. Okay. So first thing that we are going to see is capitalize. Now, what does your capitalize do? So capitalize, it converts the first character of the string to uppercase and makes all other characters lowercase. Okay, first character hota that is converted into uppercase and the rest of the characters remain as a lowercase. So let's see example of that. Okay. So here I will say my example is p by dh1. So how to use your built-in method? So I want to convert string1 into capitalize. Okay. So here string1 dot capitalize I will write and I will give it as things. But I want to print it. Now if I want to print it, I have to store it in some different thing. Okay. So I'm storing it in str. Okay. So here if we say print str2. Now this is your original string. So what is your capitalized doing? It is converting first character from the string into capital case and rest of the thing same stays the same. So yes, it is doing exactly that. So we'll see next function. So the next function is the count functions. So count returns the number of occurrences of a specified substring in the given string. So you will be given some string. Now you have to check how many times a particular substring is occurring into the given string. So at that particular point of time, you have to use the count function. Okay. So let's see how we are going to do that. So first, we will see some example. Okay. So let's say our given string is it not? Okay. Now you want to check the count of is. Okay. So for this particular purpose, so your string is s11 dot. Now the name of the function is count. In bracket you will pass is. Okay, and you will save this. If you want to print it, you will save this entire result in some variable and you will say print. Okay, so let's convert this into Google Colab. I will change it a little bit. Okay, so I'm saying s12 is equal to s11 dot. I'm saying count. In bracket, I will say is. Okay, so I will say print count is comma your s12. Right, your count is this is the string and your result is S12. So according to our input, we should get 2 because there are 2. If I'm changing this to, let's say, not, so it should give us 1 because not is exactly occurring one time. So not is the substring that we are checking against the given string. So it is giving us the count of that particular substring. Okay, so next particular built-in function is very important. This particular function is used many times in real life examples. Len. So what does your len function do? As the name suggests, it returns the length of a string. That means it returns the number of characters that are currently present in your string. It counts everything that you have enclosed in the single quotes, double quotes, or triple quotes. Okay, so let's see example of that. So it's fairly simple. It checks the length of the string. So here I will say SD. Here you will say article is good. Okay. So first we will see small example. So I will say good. So good means it is now returning. It should return the length of the string. So length of the string means 1, 2, 3, 4. That means it returns how many characters are present in your string. So currently my string has 4 characters. So if I say len of SD, it will return 4. You can also write it as print okay, both way it will work. So SD means len means it returns the number of characters that are currently present in your string. So there are 4 characters present, so it is returning 4 as the length. If I say good is, will change the string, the article is good. Okay, so now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So yes, your length is 15. So here it is also counting your white space as a character because it is a character. Okay, so it will consider whatever you are getting. If you give the tab here, it will also consider that particular tab. Okay, so here if you now check, the length is different. Okay, so next part is lower and upper. Now lower means it converts all characters in the string to lowercase, and upper means it converts, as the name suggests, all characters into the uppercase. So let's see. Here my given string is okay. Now I want to convert it. Dot. So this is uppercase मध्ये, that means I want to convert it in the lower case. So it is giving as an error because as is a keyword. I cannot use it like that. So when I say is 1, so I will say now print. If you see ANS, so yes, this was your original string and it is now converted into the lower case. Okay, same now I will say. Now your given string is like this. What you are doing is AS2 dot. Now we'll say upper. Okay. So if you now print it, yes, this was your original string and it is returning the capital case. That is what is your upper is doing. Upper function is doing. Okay. So next important thing is strip. Strip means this function removes leading and trailing white spaces So what does your white space include? So white spaces can be your spaces. Simple spaces can be tabs, can be new line characters. So everything will be removed, leading and trailing of the string. Okay. So let's see how it works. So you have to provide a string which will have some. Okay, this is my string. This is my input. So I want to now remove is a dot string. Okay, and now I want to print. If you run it, yes, it is giving us that. If you print the original string, that is print, this is your AZ is containing your original string and ANS3 is containing your modified string. So modified string is removing all the white spaces from the string. So here you can see this is your string. Okay, this is your input string and this is your output. That is, it is removing all the leading as well as trailing white spaces from the string. Now next important part is split. Now split function splits the string into list of substrings, okay, based on a specific delimiter. So if you want to split a given string on the basis of comma, you can do that. If you want to separate it on the basis of tabs, you can do that. But if you do not give anything, so by default, white space is considered as the splitting parameter. Okay, so let's see one example. So I want to split this. So what I want is I want to split it on the basis of comma. So I will say split. Now what I want to split on the basis of, I want to split on the basis of comma. If you say print answer 4, so yes, it is giving us Python, Java and CP. Okay, it is split on the basis of comma. Now you can also split on the basis of if you do not give anything in here. So by default, it will take white space as a parameter for splitting. So here, if you see, yes. So earlier, comma was there. So I was using comma as the splitting parameter. So now, since our input string is changed, I'm just saying split. So in the split, what is happening is I am just passing, I'm not passing anything as a splitting parameter. So I'm not passing anything. That means white space is considered as a splitting parameter. So that's why it is returning as Python, Java and CPP. Okay. So this was your split. Now next important part, next important function is replace. So as the name suggests, it replaces the occurrence of substring with another substring. Okay, within the string. So if I say I want to change one verb from a given string, so at that particular point of time, I have to use a replace method. Okay, so let's see how we are going to do it. So here I will say this is my input string. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to replace Java with Python. So how we are going to do that? So I will say ag1 dot replace. I will say Java this was the string that I want to replace, and second string will be the string that you want to replace it with. So I want to replace Java with Python. So, and I will say now result will be in. So here if I say print, so yes, it is replacing Java with Python. So Python is good and Python is powerful. This is your answer. Okay, so let's see next slide. There are two more functions that we are going to see. There are many other functions that are available with your string operation, built-in string operation. But these are the strings, these are the operations that are mostly used. Okay, so first we will see starts with, and then we are going to see ends with. So starts with, as the name suggests, it is going to check the start of the string for a specified prefix. If it checks out to be true, then it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Now ends with, as the name suggests, it is going to check the end of the string for a specified suffix. If it is there, it is going to return true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. Okay. So let's see how it is working. So I will use this particular thing again. I will say Python is good. So here what I want to do is he2 dot, let's say, starts with. I want to check whether this particular string starts with Python or not. Okay. So if it is going to start with Python, it is going to return true. Otherwise, it is going to return false. So yes, it is returning true because this particular string is indeed starting with your Python. Now, let's say if I say it like this. So what do you think the answer will be? So it is going to return as false because this Python and this Python is different. Okay. Now, instead of starts with, now we are going to check the last function, that is ends with. So same. Ends with. So if I want to check whether this particular things ends with good, so I will say print. Okay. So now if you run it, you will get the answer as true because this particular string is ending with good only. Okay. So this was your part until string. So the next part we are going to see is very, very important, that is nothing but loops. So next important part is nothing but loops. So loops are your fundamental block in the programming language. Loops are very, very important because if you want to execute something, if you want to execute same code multiple times, so instead of writing same code again and again and again, you can write it inside a loop and you can run that loop. So loop helps you with repetition of code. Okay. It also iterates over sequence of data. So whatever sequence of data you are given, it will iterate over it one by one, and it will do its next thing. So this is nothing but the iteration. So these are two important parts of using loops, that it helps with the repetition of code. It also helps with the iteration. So there are two types of loop. First is for loop and second is while loop. So while loops, so first of all, they allow you to alter the alter the flow of the program. So for example, if you want to change flow of the program to something else, so at that particular point you can write for loop or while loop there. So why I want to change the flow of the program? Because it gives us, or it allows us for more dynamic and flexible pathways. Okay, so the next part is conditional execution. So loops, we are running loops, so we are executing same code again and again and again. Okay, so loops have conditional statements within them. So this conditional statement will decide how long your loop is going to iterate over sequence of data. Okay, if while that condition is true, that particular loop will continue to iterate. If that particular condition becomes false, it will terminate the loop. Okay, so this thing we will see in more detail now. First thing is overview of your while loop. So while loop is used to repeatedly execute the block of code as long as specified condition is true. So this is how your while loop looks. So while is the keyword. So inside the parenthesis you can write the condition. Until the condition is true, this particular body of while will keep running. Okay, as long as the condition is true, this body of while will keep on working. After your condition becomes false, it will come out of this particular while and next statement will start executing. Okay, so this is how your syntax looks. While, condition and colon. After colon, it is your signal to your interpreter that this particular while block is now starting. So until you follow the indentation, you are in the same while block. If you come out of that indentation, that means this particular while block is has ended, and the next statement, that particular statement will be outside of the while loop. Okay, so first example is now your I is equal to 0. Okay, your while I is less than 5, print I, and I is equal to I plus 1. Now we will see line by line execution of this particular code. Or you can say this particular thing is also called as the dry running of code. Okay, so here what we have done is I is equal to 0 while I is less than 5. Yes, then here we are saying print I, and I is equal to I plus 1. In the code that we have written, I plus is equal to 1. This is the same thing as this. We have seen these things in assignment operator. You can either write statement like this or you can write it like this. This is your choice how you want to write it. Okay, so let's see one by one how it is working. So first of all, what we are saying is while, and inside that condition is there. So until the condition is true, this particular loop will keep on running. So that means whatever statements that we have written inside the while loop, they will keep on executing. Once this particular condition is false, so you will come out of the while loop. Okay, so first of all, let's see first condition. So I is equal to 0. So first time is it is running. So while 0 less than 5. So is 0 less than 5? Yes, it is 0. 0 is less than 5. So it will print your 0 and your I will be I plus 1. That is your 0 is equal to 0. 0 plus 1. That means your I will be 1 now. Now again it will check while 1 is less than 5. Yes, it is less than 5. So it will print 1. Okay, so it will print 1. Now your I will be 1 plus 1, which will be 2. Right? Next thing, now again it will check while your 2 is less than 5. So yes, 2 is less than 5. It will go inside the loop. So inside the loop again it will print 2 and your I will be 2 plus 1, which will be 3. Then again it will check whether your 3 is less than 5. So yes, 3 is less than 5. So it will print, it will go inside the loop. That means this condition is still true. So it will print 3. So I is equal to 3 plus 1, which will be 4. Now again it will check while 4 is less than 5. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. This condition is still true. So it will print 4 and I is equal to 4 plus 1, which will be your 5. Now next statement will be while 5 is less than 5. So is 5 less than 5? No. So it will come out of the loop. Okay. So now we will see execution of the same with help of our Google Colab. So here I will say, oops, while loop. So here we are saying I is equal to 0. While I is less than 5. Inside it, I am printing I and I is equal to I plus 1. So yes, according to whatever we have seen, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, the same result that we were getting. Yes. So it will print 0 first, then it will print 1, then it will print 2, then it will print 3, and then it will print 4. So this was your output. So same output we are getting at in the Google Colab also. So this is how your while loop works. So while loop works until your condition is true, it will keep on executing. So whatever statement you have executed within the while loop, it will get printed. So for example, if I have written this particular thing outside the loop now, so loop end. So after your 4, this particular statement will be printed. Yes, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 means it will come out of the loop and it will print the next statement from your execution. Since it is not following, this particular last statement is not following the indentation, that means this particular thing is not inside the while loop. So it will print it is printing the next statement. While loop example. So in the while loop, we are going to see two examples. First is our countdown timer and second is the multiplication table. So let's start with the first example. Our first example is countdown timer. So I will show you first what it should print. The expected output is something like this: 10, 9, 8, 7 until 1. So this is your expected output. So using while loop, we have to print this. Now, as you can see, it is starting here and ending at 1. So the same thing now we are going to write it in our code. Okay. So here what we are going to do is we are going to set our countdown. We will use the variable countdown only. So we'll set countdown is equal to 10. Okay. So inside now while loop we will write the condition. So condition means we want to go until 1. So we will say countdown is not equal to, let's say, 0. Until our countdown is not equal to 0, it should go on. Okay. So in the while loop, what we want to do is we want to print countdown. So after countdown, we need to do one more thing, that is countdown we need to decrease the counter so that it will run in the loop. So countdown is equal to countdown minus 1. So this is how your code will look. Okay. So what it is doing, it is starting at the 10 as we have seen. It is ending at 1. So we have written the condition accordingly. So countdown is 10 while in while loop we have written the condition as while countdown is not equal to 0. So until the countdown is not equal to 0, it will keep on printing. Okay. And we are adjusting the countdown timer accordingly. So it is starting with 10 and it is going like 9, 8, 7. So it means at a time it is decreasing by 1. So we have written the same thing. Now we will dry run this code. So dry run this. So first of all it will start with 10. So in the inside the while loop it will check whether 10 is not equal to 0. So the condition is true. It will go inside the loop. It will print your 10. Then your countdown timer will be reset. So reset means it will decrease by 1. So 10 minus 1 is 9. Again it will go inside the loop. So it will check 9 is not equal to 0. Yes. So condition is true. It will go inside the loop. Inside the loop it will print 9. Then inside the loop only it will decrease the counter. Now the counter is 8. Again it will go inside the loop. It will check 8 is not equal to 0. So yes, that condition is true. It is printing 8. Okay. Then your counter will be again decreased by 1. So 8 minus 1 is 7. Then here 7 is not equal to 0. Yes, the condition is true. It will go inside the loop. It will print 7. So what we want is 7 minus 1. Now counter will decrease. It will be 6. So until this will go until print 1. For print 1, what will be the condition? 1 is not equal to 0. So 1 is not equal to 0 means that particular condition will be true. It will print 1. Now 1 minus 1 means counter will be 0. Now 0 is not equal to 0. Is this condition true? No, this condition becomes false. So that means it will exit the loop. If you want, we can print one more statement that is outside the loop, saying print loop end. That will be outside the loop. Okay. So let's try this example with our Google Colab. While our countdown is not equal to 0, countdown starts. Then what we want to do is countdown is equal to countdown minus 1. Countdown starts here. We need our variable. So that variable is countdown. So now we will say last statement is loop ends. So let's say how this is working. So yes, it is starting at 10, it is ending at 1 and it is decreasing the counter one by one and it is printing. That is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and finally it is coming out of the loop and it is printing your loop ends. So this was your first example. Now your second example. that we are going to see is multiplication table. Okay. So first I will show you in what format I want the output. So I want the output in this particular format, 5 comma 1 is equal to 5. 5 comma 2 is equal to 10. 5 comma 3, sorry, 5 into 3 is equal to, sorry for the mistake. So 5 into 1 is 5. 5 into 2 is 10. 5 into 3 is 15. 5 into 4 is 20, and it should go on until 5 into 10 is 50. Okay, this particular thing I want as output. Okay, so let's say how we will do these things. So we will set one variable which will contain 5. We will set another variable which will contain this counter. So what we need to do is inside the while loop, we need to, if we write the code, so inside the while loop, we need to print this thing. So what we need to print is, we need to print num into counter. Okay, so let's say we are storing this result in R. Okay, so we need to first set. Okay, so we need to first set num and counter. So we will set num to your 5 and counter to 1. If we set counter to 0, you tell me what happens. If we are setting currently counter to 1. So 5 into 1. So this is happening. So 5 into 1. Then we will have the printing statement. So inside the printing statement, we will have R in this particular format. Okay, so we will see that in the code. And lastly, now counter is set to 1. So we need to increase the counter with each iteration. So counter is equal to counter plus 1. So this is how your code will look. So if I want to write it correctly, so I will say your num is equal to 5. Your counter is equal to 1. And your condition will be now until which counter it is stopping, at which counter it is stopping, it is stopping at 10. So while counter not equal to 10. Okay, so it should go on. So it should go on means here, let's say result is num into counter. Now we will have some printing statement for this particular format. We will see that in the code, and then we will have our counter is equal to counter plus 1. So how is this now going on? So we will see how this will dry run. Okay, so let's say control C, control V, counter is equal to counter plus 1. Now we will dry run it. Okay, so in dry run, how it will look? So first it will check. Now our num is 5 initially, our counter is 1. So first condition it will check 1 not equal to 0. So 1 is not equal to 0. So condition is 1 is not equal to 10, sorry. 1 is not equal to 10. So condition is true. It will go inside the loop. So inside the loop what it will do, R is equal to, our num is 5 here is our num, and our counter initially is 1. So 5 into 1, which will be 5. So let's say for now we are printing 5. Correct? Eh? Then next, what will happen? Your print 5 and your counter will be increased. So 1 plus 1, your counter will be now 2. Now it will again go inside the loop. So it will check 2 is not equal to 10. Yes, condition is true. So again it will go into 5, that is num, and into, now our counter is 2. So 5 into 2 is nothing but 10. Now it will print 10, right? Then our counter will be increased, that is 2 plus 1 is 3. Now again it will go inside the loop. It will check 3 is not equal to 10. So 3 is not equal to 10. Yes, the condition is true. It will go inside the loop. It will do the calculation 5. That is num into counter. Our num is 5. Our counter is now 3 here. Okay, so it will do 5 into 3 is 15 and print. So it will print 15. Okay, so it will print 15 and our counter will now be increased to 4. Okay, so it will go on until 10. Okay, so for 10 how will we do? It will do 10 is not equal to 10. Sorry, here if we change this particular condition, so let's go with this only. 10 is not equal to 10. So 10 is not equal to 10 means this particular condition is getting false. That means it is coming out of this particular loop. But we do not want this. What we want is we want to print this particular thing. So for that, I think we will need to modify this particular thing. So instead of not equal to 10, what I am doing, just see. Instead of that, we'll see counter is less than or equal to 10. Okay. So here Here one is less than or equal to 10, true. It will go inside the loop and it will print and update the counter. Same thing will happen over here. It will check less than or equal to 10. So true. 2 is less than or equal to 10. True condition है. It will go inside the loop. It will do the calculation. It will print the result and it will increase the counter. Same thing will happen here. 3 is less than or equal to, now it will check 3 is less than or equal to 10. Yes, true. So here 5 into 3, 15. So print your result and your result will be updated. Now here what will happen? It will check 10 is less than or equal to 10. So 10 is less than or equal to 10. Condition is still true. 10 is equal to 10. So it will go inside the loop. It will print 5 into 10 is equal to 50. It will print 50 and it will increase the loop. Now it will be 11. 10 plus 1 is equal to 11. It will go inside the loop. 11 is less than or equal to 10. So this particular condition is getting false. Now it will come out of the loop. Okay. Now this particular condition is working correctly. So let's say we try with both the examples. Okay. So we are first of all setting two things. 5 num is equal to 5. Counter is equal to 1. First of all, we will see counter not equal to 0. Okay, we'll see with this particular thing first. So it will print Okay, so I am writing our print statement like this because I want our output in this particular fashion. So first of all, I am writing num, then cross sign, then our counter, then equal to sign, then our result. Okay, same num, cross sign, counter, equal to sign, and then result. Then we will say counter is equal to counter plus 1. Not equal to 10. Okay, let's run this. So yes, what we have done in our calculation, it was correct. When we are setting the condition as not equal to 10, it is going until 9 only. But what we want is our last statement to be 5 into 10. So instead of using this particular logic, now we will use this logic. Okay. So what we have to change is here, we need to change the condition to include the last 10. So it should include less than or equal to 10. Now we will again see the result. So yes, now it is including the last statement. So that means this particular dry run that we have seen is now correct. Yes. So this was your while loop. So while writing the conditions in while loop, you have to be extra careful whether you can do the same thing that I have done, so you can readjust it later. But make sure you write the right condition. Okay. So the next thing that we are going to see is infinite loops. Now, first of all, we will see what are the infinite loops. So infinite loops means loops that continue indefinitely without exiting on their own. So what happens is initially, while your condition is true, it will keep on running. Then there is some breaking condition and it will come out of the loop. Okay, that happens. But if you have not written any breaking condition, it will create a it will create a problem of infinite loop. So infinite loop means if this particular thing will keep on running, running and running. So what are the causes of this particular thing? If you forgot to update your control variables, then it will go into the infinite loop. Or you miswrite the loop conditions, or you can say you write the incorrect terminating condition. So if you write incorrect terminating conditions, or if you write incorrect check this particular loop control. So in both the cases, it will create a problem of infinite loop. Okay. So what are the consequences? So consequences will be your program will either crash or it will freeze. Okay. So in both the cases, your program will behave very abruptly whenever there is a there is a problem of infinite loop. Okay. So how can you be avoid this particular condition? So in order to avoid this particular condition, what you can do is first of all you can check your loop control variables. Okay, so check whether loop dry run it. Check whether your loop control variables are written correctly and they are getting updated correctly. Okay, and one more thing you can do is before writing the huge statements, you can try the loops on small input. So here, let's say while I will say true and print Python is good. So this particular thing is an example of infinite loop while true. So that means you have set this particular condition to be true. So until this condition is true, it will keep on running and running. Okay. So this is a very bad example. This wastes the resources and it will continue without exiting. Okay. So with small inputs, you can see how it is happening and then you can write the big loops. Okay. In that way, you can avoid getting into infinite. Okay. So let's see what happens next. Now the next loop that we are going to see is overview of the for loop. Now this particular loop is again very important. So the for loop in Python is used to iterate over sequence or any iterable object. So before going into our formal definition, I will give you one example. Just consider a teacher is taking attendance. So what happens when teacher is taking attendance? So whenever teacher is taking attendance, the teacher will start with first student, then it will go to the second student, then it will go to the third student, then it will go to the fourth student. The teacher will continue taking the attendance until that particular until teacher reaches the end of the attendance record. That means, however long attendance record is, the teacher will keep on going until that particular attendance record is ended. So same thing your for loop does. So for loop has iterables, same as teacher has attendance book, for loop has iterables. So until your iterable has value, your for loop will keep on running. Getting it? So until your iterable has value, your for loop will keep on running and running. Okay. And whenever there is no value in the iterable, it will come out of the loop. Same thing happens with the teacher also. Teacher will start with the attendance of first student, second student, third student until your attendance record has reached the last student. Same thing for loop will do. So for loop will check with the iterable and until there are values in the iterable, it will keep on going. Okay. So it will keep on going until it reaches the end value in that particular iterable. So whenever the for loop reaches the end value in that particular iterable, in this particular iterable, so it will come out of the loop. So this is your syntax. So this is for loop for item in iterable. So until there is an item in iterable, the for loop will go on. This particular in checks the membership with the iterable. So until there are this particular item exists in the iterable, this particular condition is true, this particular body will keep on running. Okay. So before going into example, I want to show you first range function. Now this particular thing is a range function. So range function again is divided into three parts. It has start, end and step. Okay. So your start, if not mentioned, it will start with 0. Okay. Your start is inclusive. That means it will start at 0 only. Your end is exclusive. So whatever you want to give it as end, you have to plus 1 it. So for example, I want to go until 3. So I want to print 0 to 3. So you have to print end as 3 plus 1. So that means you will print end as 4. Your by default step is 1. So this particular thing is default. Okay, this particular thing is a default thing, that is step is 1. So now if I write range of 0 to 4, so by default I am taking the step. This is also true, or you can say range of 4. Okay, so range of 4 means it will start with 0, then 1, then 2. So range function goes from 0 to this particular number, the number mentioned in the particular function. So before that, so it will the range function will go from 0 to 3 and it will print the numbers one by one. As the name suggests, it will print the range. So starting is 0, then 1, then 2. Then your 3 will be printed and it will come out. So range means this particular range is printed on the screen. Okay, so let's see it with our for loop example. So in the for loop here we have said for I in the range of 4. So range of 4 means we have now 4 items 0, 1, 2, 3. This is our for I in range of 4. So what we have written is we need to print I. This particular thing is our code. So let's try run it. So range of 4 will have this particular value. So it will check first item. So range is starting. You have two variables. So start and end. So starting, if not given, starting is 0. So it will check first variable. So what it will check? First variable is our, so first our item is 0. So 0 in range of 4. So is 0 in the range of 4? In means it will check the membership of that particular thing. That means it will return true or false. So is our 0 in the range of 4? Yes, it is there. So what it will go inside the loop. So inside the loop it will print now 0. Then it will update it. It will go to the next. It will go to the next value in the range. So it will check 1 in range of 4. So is there a 1 in the range of 4? So yes, 1 in the range of 4. So it is true. So it will print 1. Then it will go to the next element in the range. So next element is okay. So it will check 2 in the range of 4. So yes, 2 in the range of 4. So it will print 2. Okay. Next, it will go to the next element in range. So 3. So it will go to the 3. It will check 3 in the range of 4. So it will print here. So this is how your output should look. Okay. So I told you for loop, this particular loop will keep on running until your iterable has value. Once your values are finished, it will end the loop. So here if you want we can check it with this particular thing loop end. So let's see how our for loop is working with Google Colab. So for I in range of 4. So here let's say what we are doing is we are printing that particular I, and lastly we are printing at the end of the loop we are printing loop end. Okay, so let's, so first it was printing 0, then 1, then 2, then 3. The same thing that we have seen, it is printing for 0, 1, 2, 3, and then end of the loop. Same thing that we have calculate what we have dry run, we are getting the same output. So that means the important point to remember is this for loop will run until this particular iterable has value. Once the iterable finishes, it will come out of the loop and it will carry on with the execution. Okay, so this was your for loop. So this is one more example that we are going to see for n in the range of 1, 10 and 3. Now this particular thing is saying n in the range of 1, 10 and 3. That means your start is 1, your end is 10 and your step is 3. So let's see for n in range of 1, 10, 3. Okay, what it is printing is, it is printing n. Now we are saying our range is 1, 10, 3. So our start is 1, our end is 10, and our step is 3. So let's say how it is working. So it will go to first 1. So 1 in range 1 comma 10 comma 3. So it will check this particular condition. Is 1 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3? Yes. The condition is satisfying, so it will print 1. Now our step is 3. That means it will increase the counter as 1 plus 4. That means your step now 1 plus, sorry, your step will be 1 plus because your 1 plus, so that will be your, okay, because this particular condition, this particular start plus your step, that will give you the next point. Now 4. So again it will go into the loop. It will check 4 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3. So is 4 in the range of 1 comma 10 comma 3? Yes, it will print 4. Okay, then your step calculation will be done. That is 4 plus 3. This will be your step. Now it will go again until at the start. Is 7 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3? So it will check. So yes, this is true. It will print. So let's start with this example. So for n in the range of 1 comma 10 comma 3, what is it is printing? It should print n. So let's see how it is doing that. For n in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3, and it is printing your n. Okay, so now in the range function it is 1 comma 10 comma 3. So what's happening here is this is your start, this is your stop, and this is your step. So if you do the calculation, it first element will be 10, then it will have the step of 3, that means 2, 3, 4. The next element will be 4, then again it will have step of 3, that means 5, 6, 7, then 7 plus 8, 9, 10. Our now stop is 10. So 10 is not an inclusive thing. So it will go until now 9 only. That means your range has this particular elements. Okay. So let's start. Let's check with our code. So it will first check 1 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3. So yes, 1 is in the range of 1 comma 10 comma 3. So it will print 1. Then it will go to the next value in the iterable. So next value it is in the iterable is 4. So it will check 4 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3. So is 4 in the range of 1 comma 10 comma 3? Yes. So this is true. So it is printing 4. Then last element it will check 7 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3. So again this is true and it is printing 7. Okay. So next step is 10. So 10 in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3. So this condition become false, means this particular loop ends here. Okay. So this is how we will do it. This is how we have solved it. So let's say it with the Google Colab. For n in range of 1 comma 10 comma 3 and print n. So let's see whatever we have calculated, we are getting the same result or not. So yes, we are getting the same result. That is, we are getting 1 comma 1, 4 and 7 only. So whatever we have calculated here is, this calculation is correct. Yes. So let's see next. So let's see some examples on our for loop. So first example is printing first natural 20 numbers using for loop. 20 numbers using for loop. Okay, so using for loop means we will see first of all we will need a range function. So we will start with 1. We need first 20, that means we need 20 number also. So I will say my stop is 1. So range is 1 to 10. So for I will say j in range of 1 to 21 and print j. Okay, so this will be my code. So let's see how it works. For j in range of 1 comma 21, print j. Okay, let's say how it is running. So yes, it is running from 1 to 20. So these are 1 to 20 natural numbers. Now let's say what is our next example. So our next example is to calculate sum of all numbers from 1 to a given number. Okay, so let's say how it is, how we are going to do. So let's say I want to calculate from 1 to 10. Okay, so 1 to 10 I want to calculate the sum of all numbers. So here we will say our given number is 10. Initially I will say my sum is 0. Okay, so for I will say C in range of 1 comma, now your range should be your given number plus 1. So that's how it will go to 1 to 11, 1 to 10. So here inside the loop, what I want is sum is equal to sum plus your C. So initially sum, and lastly what we are doing is we are printing this particular sum. So let's try run this particular code and see how it is working. So we will see some quick explanation. So first of all, it is starting with now 1 to 10. So 1 to 10 means 1, 2, 3 until it will go 10. This is your iterable. So it will start with checking now. So 1 in range of 1 to 11. So is 1 in the range of 1 to 11? True. It will go inside the loop and it will do the summation. So summation, initially we have said our sum is 0. Initially we have said our sum is 0. Okay, so sum is 0 means 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Okay, then it will go to the second. So second, 2 in it will go into the next iterable item in the iterable. So next item in the iterable is 2. So 2 in the range of 1 comma 11. So true. So it will sum is equal to, now initial sum is 1 plus our C is 2. So 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. Okay, then next item in the iterable is 3. So it will check 3 in range of 1 comma 11. So this is true. So it will print sum is equal to, now your sum is 3 plus your C is 3. So it will be 6. So this is how it will go on. So let's see what we are getting as the result. We will write the code exactly that how we have seen it in the explanation. So let's say what is we are getting the sum as 12. So here, according to our logic, if we do all the work, we are getting the output as 55. Okay. So let's check it with our code. So we have written the code as given number is equal to 10, sum is equal to 0 for C1 in the range of 1 to given number plus 1. So sum is equal to sum plus this particular C1, and our sum is, we are printing our sum out of the loop. That means we want the last sum. So yes, we are getting the sum as 55. Yes. So whatever we have calculated, we are getting that particular result only. Okay. So let's see what is next. So our next example is Python program to calculate sum of all odd numbers within a given range. Okay. So let's calculate it. So again, we will decide some range. So for example, our given range is 10. We need to sum of all numbers. So we'll say sum initial is 0. So for I in, we'll say range of your given number plus 1. That means it will go until 1 to 11. I mean, it will go from 0 to 10. So we need to check whether first your I mod 2 is not equal to 0. That means if it is odd, then we will say sum is equal to sum plus your I. Otherwise, we will print your sum. So this is how it will work. So on your side, please try out this particular, a dry run of this particular code. So we'll directly go to the explanation now. For a given range is equal to 10, sum is equal to sum 1 is equal to, let's say, 0. Then for I1 in range of given range plus 1. So if I mod 2 is not equal to 0, then the print sum is equal to sum, and it will print your sum. So this is how your code works. So next part that we are going to see is introduction to the loop control statements. So loop control statements, there are three statements that are provided by your loop. So first statement is a break statement, second statement is a continue statement, and third statement is a pass statement. So third statement is nothing but it is like a placeholder. So what does your placeholder do? So what you want to do is, if you do not want to place any code right now, but you need to save some space for that. So instead of writing everything, you can just say pass. Okay. So this was your pass statement. So we will continue with the break and continue. So while condition is true, you written some code and you have these statements now. Whenever we will see the break statement first. So break statement, what it does, it terminates the loop immediately. Consider break statement as an emergency stop in any machine. So emergency stop, whenever you push that emergency stop button, every execution in that particular thing stops. Okay. So that is nothing but your break statement. So this was your normal break. If you want to give your conditional break statement, that also you can give. So if I'm searching something, and what you do is, if you get that particular thing, you stop the searching. So that particular thing is called as the conditional break. Okay. Now we will see the continue statement. So continue means it skips the rest of the current iteration and it proceeds to the next iteration of the loop. That means current iteration gets skipped and you will start with the next iteration. Consider an example of let's say what you are doing is ki you have given some list and you need to check whether those particular stock is available or not. So you are going through your list and for example you get to a point in the list where you are not able to find that particular thing. So if you are not able to find that particular thing, you skip that particular thing and you go on with the rest of the list. Same thing your iteration does. It skips the rest of the current iteration and proceeds to the next one. When you do not find the item, you skip that particular item and you continue with the rest of the statement. So these are your pass, break and continue statement. Okay. So let's see this with a small example. So let's say how this particular thing is going on. Your example of break. Okay. So let's say we want to search a particular number. So this is your statement. Search a target number in the range of numbers. So we'll say first of all, our target is 6. So I want to search it. So for I in range of let's say 11. In this particular range, I want to search 6 if your I is equal to I will say target. So if this particular thing is there, so I will say break. Okay. And the loop will end. If we get the target, we will get the message target found and it will come out of the loop and the execution will stop. So this is how your break statement works. Okay. So at the moment it finds your target, then the loop will break and it will come out. Okay. So next next problem is print odd numbers from 1 to 10, skipping even numbers. So let's see a simple example of this continue statement, control statement. So what we want to do is we want to print odd numbers from 1 to 10, skipping your even numbers. Okay, so we have given the range as 1 to 11. If I found even number, then I am going to continue. Continue means this particular iteration will be skipped and it will go to the next. So according to our code, we should get 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So let's see which numbers are we getting and are we getting it correctly. So yes, these are the numbers that you are getting. So this particular code is working correctly. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for your patience.